Hey guys, it's my pleasure to get to talk to you today about all things franchise. First of all, if you're at all interested in selling a franchise, in creating a company that grows big enough to sell franchises in a traditional sense or in a non-traditional sense, you're going to need to own all of the intellectual property that your company has in order to sell licensing rights to your franchisees or your sub-company owners, okay? The biggest one and the easiest one to understand is your trademarks. If you don't have a federally registered trademark, or at a bare minimum, a state registered trademark, but a trademark protects your brand. If you have it federally registered, it gives you a lot of protection. If you have it state registered, it gives you some protection, but not a ton. So this protects your brand. It prevents other people from using your brand and your logo and your tagline and your trade dress and all of these types of things without your permission, i.e. without them paying you money. So if you attempt to sell a franchise to somebody else and you don't own the IP, the intellectual property, the trademarks, the rights to protect your brand, all of this stuff, you can't really sell it to them because you can't really prevent them from using your brand name and your logo and your tagline and your trade secrets and all of this other stuff without your permission, which means that they can just kind of up and use it, okay? So first step, make sure that you own your trademarks. Also, you probably have some copyrighted works that you need to file a copyright for. You might have some patents that you need to file a patent for. Give us a buzz, we'll help you out. Okay, step 2. Franchising in a traditional sense is when you register your franchise with the feds, with a government agency, which takes a lot of legal work. You do all of these disclosures, okay? You have to make a franchise disclosure document, or an FDD, for example, for all of your would-be franchisees to review with their attorneys to decide if this is a good investment for them or not. Why do we require all of this legal work? Great question. We require all of this legal work because in the past there were a lot of scammers out there. The scammers would basically sell to people for tens of thousands of dollars these franchises that didn't really exist. So now the federal government stepped in to stop these scammers from being so successful by requiring them to do all of these disclosures and have a lawyer file for their franchise federally. How much does that cost? I'd say a minimum $10,000. Often it's about $40,000 or $50,000 for the legal bill. But of course, sometimes with the larger franchises, it can be, well over $100,000. Are there alternatives to this legal bill? Yeah, absolutely. If you're just starting with your would-be franchise, if your company is new, or you want to go an alternative route like Chick-fil-A did, without doing a federal registration and doing it as a franchise that you can sell chapters for, if you want to keep it closely held within the family or within business contacts and friends that you know that you're more confident are going to do a great job and not tarnish the value of your brand, you can do the alternative of setting up sub-companies. So you can keep your main company up here. That main company will own shares in all of these sub-companies that will partner with all of the alternatives to franchisees. So the people that will buy the rights to this territory with your company and the rights to use the intellectual property that you sell them because you own it, they can set up sub-companies with you and then you can sell rights to that. That is a whole lot cheaper than setting up a full-on franchise registration, and you can pivot at any point if you would like, as long as your other partners will agree to actually move into a more formal franchise registration and do all of those things as well. So step 1, just to recap, get all of your intellectual property reined in. Make sure that you have federal registrations for your trademarks especially, but also maybe your copyrights if you have any copyrighted material. Talk to a lawyer about what are called trade secrets, which is all of your best business practices, rights to your vendor contracts. You need non-disclosure agreements, of course. You need non-solicitations, restrictive covenants, things like that. Step 2 is to decide if you want to do a traditional franchise registration with the government, with the federal government, or if you want to do a alternative approach with, between closely held, friends and family, things like that. If you're interested in any of this, give us a call. We'd love to help. This is some of the most exciting legal work that we get to do as a business law firm. But as always, guys, keep rocking.